Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Steve. We have some news that's really pissing me off right now. The Houston Rockets are expected to waive Carmelo Anthony. Now, we all know Carmelo Anthony, 10 plus time All Star, NBA Hall of Famer, just one of the greatest players of the 2000s and that whole era with the '03 draft and all of this, right? Now, if you guys don't know, Carmelo Anthony signed a $2.4 million veterans minimum with the Houston Rockets after he was bought out from the Atlanta Hawks. And honestly, people are expecting Carmelo Anthony to be waived from the Houston Rockets. Now, this is why it actually pisses me off, because the season isn't even halfway through yet. It's not even halfway through, and we have ESPN, NBA.com, Forbes, just a whole bunch of news agencies reporting that Carmelo Anthony that they don't believe, that Melo's teammates do not believe he's coming back, and the same thing with the coaches. And it pisses me off because the season's not even halfway through. Carmelo Anthony had a few good games where he was dropping 28 points, where he was dropping 24 points, and then it was like, oh, Melo's back, vintage Melo, vintage this, right? And then he struggles for a little bit, and then what do you expect? They want to kick him off the team. It's so ridiculous what they're doing to this man. It's so ridiculous. Okay, they're literally 10 games into the season, like 10. What is it? They're 5-7. Okay, so they're barely into the season, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that Carmelo Anthony's getting waived already? This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my entire life. It's very sad, to be honest, because this man is playing 29 minutes per game. He's only started 2 games, so that means out of the 12 games he's played, 10 of them, he come off the bench. Okay, he's only playing 29 minutes per game, taking 12 shots per game. 12 shots per game, and they're blaming Carmelo Anthony for this. He's taking 12 shots per game. Okay? Keep that in mind. 12 shots per game. And he's averaging 13 points per game. And it's his fault that they're losing. It's his fault. They blame him. That's why Dwyane Wade came out and defended Carmelo Anthony. That's why Dwyane Wade tweeted that. That's the most. And I agree with Dwyane Wade. Dwyane Wade said, Y'all better stop messing with his brother, because they're really close friends. They're like best friends. It's just like, how can you put the blame? You know what it is? It's just he's the scapegoat. He's the scapegoat. He was a scapegoat for the Oklahoma City Thunder as well. It was Melo's fault, right? Is that why they started the season off so horribly? It was all Carmelo Anthony's fault, right? Excuse me for that. That was my phone. It's all Carmelo Anthony's fault, right? It's always Melo's fault. Melo this, Melo that, Melo for this, Melo is Melo's fault. But yet he's coming off the bench. He's not even starting. Okay? The Oklahoma City Thunder are literally 7-5. They're 7-5. And that's only because they've been playing well their last few games, because they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Okay? They literally started out the season terrible. I think they started like 0-5. Okay? But they want to blame Carmelo Anthony for this. Yeah, he's had some rough games. The man is old. But for you or anyone else, especially the general management, to sit there and blame him for the Houston Rockets being 5-7, when Chris Paul's been playing horribly too, James Harden's been injured a few games, you're going to sit here and tell me that it's Carmelo Anthony's fault? Let's sit here and blame Carmelo Anthony when literally James Harden missed 3 games this season. Chris Paul missed 2 games this season. Oh, but you know who played every single game? Carmelo Anthony. But wait, it's Melo's fault because he's playing 29 minutes. He's not even top 5 in minutes per game for this team. He's not even top 5. Okay? He takes the 5th most shots on this team. It's James Harden, it's Eric Gordon, Chris Paul, and then it's Carmelo Anthony. Okay? And you're going to sit here and tell me it's Carmelo's fault. I mean, I truly don't get it. Now, obviously, there's more that goes into it, like defense and all this other stuff, and but come on, man. You gotta be out of your damn mind if you're gonna sit here and tell me it's Melo's fault when James Harden literally missed 3 games. Chris Paul missed 2 games. Okay, and Chris Paul hasn't been playing well, but when Melo plays well, oh, everyone praises him. But when he plays bad, they want to waive him from the team and blame him when he only started 2 games this entire year. You want to waive someone? Waive Marquise Chris? This guy? Who is he? You want to waive someone? Why don't you waive like Gerald Green or Gary Clark, like Michael Carter Williams? Why Melo? When you know you're gonna need scoring. Okay, obviously there's more to the game than just scoring. But even Dwyane Wade had to come out and say, you out of your damn mind. Even Chris Paul was interviewed, okay, in the locker room. And this isn't quote for quote what Chris Paul said, but it's roughly what Chris Paul said. Man, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Melo's been playing well for us. He's a Hall of Famer. And Dwyane Wade tweeting, y'all better leave my brother alone. To waive him and blame him is so ridiculous. And then you have ESPN and all of these other news networks saying, oh, Carmelo Anthony should start his tour. Who was that said Carmelo Anthony should start his farewell tour? I gotta look this up, because I bet it was some bum player that never did half of what Carmelo Anthony did. I mean, let's see. ESPN, Melo farewell tour. I just want to see who said that. I think it was Richard Jefferson. It was Richard. Who are you? You won a championship. You think you're cool because you won a championship? You're not a Hall of Famer. You ain't no damn Hall of Famer. I ain't gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna say you're a bum. Been in the league a while. I remember your days with Vince Carter and Jason Kidd. I know my history. I'm not gonna say you're a bum, but you're nowhere near Melo's level. So for you to sit there and say Carmelo Anthony should start his farewell tour, how disrespectful can you be? I mean, how disrespectful can you be? I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing I've seen in my entire life. For them to sit there and blame Carmelo Anthony and want to waive him. What was the point in even signing him? That's like me saying, okay, I got $1 million. Let me invest this $1 million in the stock market. Okay? The stock's not doing so well right now. All of the stocks, meaning every single player on this team and the whole team together. Oh, let me just sell it at a loss. Let me just give up. So what was the point in wasting Carmelo's time? He could have won somewhere else. Watch Melo end up in LA. Watch Melo end up somewhere. Melo, come back to New York, man. That was the worst decision. Most people tell me that it was the worst decision for Carmelo Anthony to re-sign in 2014. It was the worst decision for Carmelo Anthony to allow Phil Jackson to do that to him. Okay? Carmelo should have stayed his butt in New York. He should have stayed his butt in New York City where he belongs. Melo is a Knick. He should have stayed a Knick. Okay? Now look at all these teams. Whenever Melo's available, I want Melo. I want this. Melo, we'll give you this. Melo, come play with us. Your future's with us. Win a championship before you retire. But when the rough gets going, or whatever the hell the phrase is, when the tough gets going, you want to sit here and blame him when the man literally started 2 games? Out of the 12 games, you got to be kidding. I know he's missed the last 2 games because of illness, but for you to sit here and blame him, that is the most unbelievable thing I've seen in my entire life. And that's why Chris Paul, Dwyane Wade, and others, and LeBron better open his mouth. James Harden better open his mouth. James Harden probably won't. But for them to sit there and want to waive him, okay? I know they publicly denied it, okay? But usually when rumors like this circulate, if you guys don't know how the NBA works, they do that on purpose so teams can say, oh, wait a minute. You want to waive him? Here, give him to us. Come give him to us. Teams leak stuff like that, so they don't look bad. And they're like, no, we don't want to actually do that. And then the player ends up, what is it called? It's like slipping my mind right now, but like dropping from the team on his own accord. I can't remember specifically what it's called right now. My mind is blank, but it's because I'm so upset. It's besides the point. Okay? So this is absolutely ridiculous. I think this is true. That's why Dwyane Wade spoke out. Chris Paul spoke out. I cannot believe that the Houston Rockets, after 12 games, are blaming Carmelo. This is them blaming him. Nothing more but them blaming him, just like everyone else. It's always Melo's fault. But when he plays well, oh, Melo, you're such a good fit with the Rockets. This, that, and the third. But now he drops 2 points against OKC. He plays horrible. He doesn't play for 2 games because he's sick. And everybody wants to blame Carmelo Anthony. But I guarantee you, if he gets waived, every single person, every team's going to want Melo. Every single team's going to want Carmelo Anthony. And then when the rough gets going and the tough gets tough, whatever the hell the phrase is or the saying is, they're going to do the same thing to Carmelo. This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen in my entire life. It's been your man Steve. I'm out of here, man. Peace.